Hi, and my name is Kieran. I'm from Woodruff School, which is in Lyme Regis, and in February 2013, 16 students from years 9 to 12 came together to learn recording, research and interviewing skills so that we could record stories with older people from the town about their memories of growing up and working in Lyme Regis.
Daisy and myself, Ellie, from Year 11 interviewed Les Loveridge. Les was born in Lyme Regis and he has many stories to tell about the town. He shared his memories about growing up on the Colway Mead estate, American GIs and POWs, and what it was like growing up in Lyme Regis. In the last 60 years, the life of a teenager has changed dramatically. From technology and education, food and leisure, things are totally different now compared to the 1940s and 50s. Les told us what it was like for him as a teenager in the 1950s.
As teenagers, we used to catch the bus from Lyme Regis and go to Axminster. And as teenagers then, and of course we were old enough to drink, I think. We used to go and have a couple of drinks, and then we used to go to the Axminster dance, as it was called. That was behind the Guildhall in Axminster, and that's where mainly our romances came from. I met my future wife at an Axminster dance. She was an Axminster girl. And there's something that you may find strange, but again, during my teenage years, very few Lyme Regis teenage girls went with teenage Lyme Regis boys. From a pure teenage, we used to get up with all kinds of pranks and stuff. In fact, we used to go up every winter as teenagers. We used to go up to the golf course in Lyme Regis. Gosh, imagine if we did that now. And we used to get a snow. This is when the snow was on the ground, the winter. And we used to get a small snowball and start rolling it until it became a big snowball, big enough for us to sit on. And we used to roll that. And by the time we finished rolling it, we were at the other end, the Charmouth end of the golf course. And then we used to just sing a couple of songs and then throw it down the cliff. And it used to bounce down the cliff, and we used to scream and shout and all. But as I say, going back to teenagers, it was a wonderful time. We never got into trouble. We didn't have that teenager. That's willfulness. You know, that's that snowball I was talking to you about that we used to go.
Oh, yeah. And that's the Charmouth side of the golf course.
That's right, darling.
Yeah.
We used to roll it from the lime, you know the golf course, do you? Or you know the golf?
Yeah.
Right.
So we want to know about the story of your father buying you a television. So what's the story behind that?
When I was a teenager, televisions were heard of, but nobody had one. Again, nobody could afford one. But my dad had a friend who was his teenage friend in Lyme Regis that ran a shop that sold them. And unbeknown to my mum and myself, one day he came home and announced he'd bought a television. We couldn't believe it. Bought a television? Couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, there was our house with a television aerial showing. Everybody could see it. So all of a sudden he turned it on, and there was these people talking, and I was watching it, just like going to the cinema. There was a cup final. Now, football cup final day was just like Christmas Day to most of the people in England at that time. It was the most important sporting event out. And we were going to watch it on television. All of a sudden, the doorbell rang, and that was the first, I suppose, of about 100 rings. And all these people from the estate knew that we had the television and came up and said they wanted to watch the cup final. And I suppose we wound up with about 40 people in our house watching the cup final. Now, they didn't all fit in the room that the television was in, so they should take turns, go outside and then come back and watch it a bit more later and so on. Oh, it was incredible. But anyway, that was, I think it was 1953, and I think the teams were Bolton and Blackpool. In fact, Stanley Matthews was the David Beckham of those times, and everybody wanted to watch him, and I think he scored a goal and their team won anyway. But it was an incredible day. It really was. That was when we first started television. That was taken in the 50s, but that's all our dads with their medals.
From Colway Mead.
And there's my dad there, look.
Where
There's
is
my
it?
dad there.
Where is it taken?
That was taken at Lyme Regis railway station. I think. Yes.
It was a railway station.
Well, you know where you go to school?
Yeah?
Well, you know where Travis Perkins is?
Yeah.
That used to be Lyme Regis railway station.
Oh my god.
I have no idea.
In fact, the thing that's still there is the chestnut tree. Do you walk up there? You guys get out of the car.
What was so special about the spirit of Lyme Regis in the 40s and 50s of where you lived?
Okay, spirit of Lyme Regis in the 40s and 50s, it was simple. First of all, from a material point of view, no one had anything more than anyone else. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the people at the top of the hill, but it was accepted that they had everything, we had nothing. But that didn't mean anything. We had a 3-bedroom house, whereas my mum did bed and breakfast, and she let the big bedroom to people that came here on holiday. Because she did that, my dad and her moved into the next bedroom. My dad put up a bed in the shed for me,